I just basically haven't got any slides, not Dave read them. So I was going to talk to you about community and why I think it is so important and why it's helped me a lot basically over the years of being a web developer. So, a bit of a backstory about myself. I'm a .NET developer and I work mostly with the CMS Umbraco, which has a really friendly community, and that's been really helpful because until recently I've been pretty much the only developer in my company that actually does Umbraco. So you don't really have too many people to turn to when you're on your own doing that kind of thing. So fortunately, there are thousands of other developers out there all over the world that do this thing as well. And when they have like problems, they like to talk about it, and or they have solutions, they like to sing their praises about hey, I developed this really cool thing. What do you think? So that's been really helpful for ourselves because it means we can go out to this vast pool of developers and say, well, I've got this problem. I'm trying to think about like a code-first solution to building like document types or schemas. And someone says, oh, well, we should just talk to this guy. This guy's developed a solution. It's fantastic. So that's basically the real basis of community when you look at it from an isolated point of view. But then you come to it on like a more local level. The idea of like meetups and stuff has really allowed developers on a local level to do stuff like knowledge sharing. And it doesn't matter what level you are, whether you're an amateur, you're actually professional, or you're a seasoned pro at what you do. People just sharing knowledge and saying, hey, I'm a developer. Well, I'm a developer too. When I go home, my wife doesn't understand what I'm talking about. It's all in code. So it's just nice to have people after 5:30 understand what you're talking about. So I mean, that's the great thing which I found. I was like, wow, there are people on staff that actually understand what I'm talking about. So that's quite cool. So that's why I think it's absolutely fantastic we have a community in its infancy here, because it kind of it makes people aware of the talent we have in Stafford and the Staffordshire area. I work in Wolverhampton, which is unfortunate, but I come back to Stafford and I can talk to people about what I do, and it's great. So I also do talks within the Umbraco community. We have a Midlands meetup, which is a great chance for a bunch of developers in the Birmingham area to get together, go to a pub, and eat loads of food and say, oh, isn't this great, or is this crap? And we can talk about ideas, bring it together, and then we can think about better solutions. So that's what we're currently doing in that user group, in that meetup, to actually think up new ideas and be able to improve the product that we love. So that's really a great advantage that having such a big community for Umbraco means that when a new release comes out, you've already got thousands of people who are willing to beta test the new version, and not to go too much down this is what Umbraco does, but there's a really great thing that someone created. It's a grid editor, so you can basically create your own responsive grids within inside Umbraco. And the client doesn't need to know anything about grid systems or anything like that. They can just say, I want a text field here, or I want an image here, and I want a drop-down list by the side of it, that kind of thing. And they can just do it because some company in Spain thought, oh, we can do that. So they did it, and they released it to the community, and now it's part of the main release. And that's the great thing about having people who are really dedicated to that project and willing to give their time away freely. So unfortunately, I'm on the end of the spectrum where I take more than I give. But as long as I don't take it for granted, and appreciate the fact that I have people out there who are willing to give up their time, because they all have jobs, and that kind of thing, have families, and they're willing to give something back to the community. Is actually fantastic, and it makes my life easier, and it makes everyone happy. So I think I've talked way too quickly. Right. That's really what I wanted to talk about, and I don't actually have some bullet points I was going to follow, but unfortunately, nerves and all that kind of got out of the way when I was talking about. So yeah, but all right. So the book is kind of give some backstory as to where I came from. But if you want to talk about the next topic, that's great too. Yeah. So.
It'd be cool to get an overview of what Umbraco is and done.
Alright, yeah, cool, that's great. So, Umbraco is a .NET open source CMS. It's made by some crazy Danish people who hated site affinity or whatever that precursor was. And it was created about 10 years ago when one of the developers for I think it was site affinity was just complained to his wife every night that he was so sick and tired of the way they did things. So his wife turned around to him and said, well, I'm sick of hearing you complain about it. If you think you can do better, do it. So he did. And they made a few releases, and finally they got version 2 out, and it was ready for people to look at. So about 7 or 8 years ago, I started at a place in Southern Coalfield, and the guy, my boss, was like, we're doing Umbraco. So, you can do that now. I was like, okay, well I have a job, I'm happy. So, and that was back in version 3. And it's since had the community come on board and sort of say, well, we want this feature, we want that feature, and so it's been added in slowly over time, and it's become such a great product and a great bunch of people to be around. There's meetups in Copenhagen every year called Code Garden, and that's just a fantastic time for people to get drunk in a foreign country, and sleep in really, really sort of cheap Copenhagen hotels. And then on a small level we have the UK Festival, which is another great opportunity to sleep in cheap hotels in London. So Umbraco as a product is available freely on NuGet or anything that kind of thing. You can also get it on GitHub as well, and you can contribute it and pull requests and stuff if you so wish, you find something wrong with it. It's just a CMS that's been developed for so many years, and it's slowly adopted .NET standards like MVC, and the latest versions we're on, I believe, version 4, so that's quite nice, I guess. And also they've moved into the world of AngularJS, where the actual entire back office can be developed using AngularJS 1. So it's just one of those things which is a real product of the community. The actual the core team have been brought together through people who have been part of the community and said, well, I love this thing so much that I want to actually make this my job. So they've been lucky enough to do that, and it's great to have people who are really passionate about what they do, actually driving forward the product. But even people who aren't getting paid to do it still want to get in there and then say, this is how I think it should go. What do you think? And I'll be like, that's a great idea. All right. So Umbraco.
As a front-end user, are there any classic signs that you're on an Umbraco site? For example, with WordPress, you can usually spot it a mile off.
Okay.
Sometimes with Joomla, you can see, quite often the molecule symbol because of the fabric on it.
Right. Yeah. It's one of the funny things on version 7 loading screen. The core team thought it would be a good idea to put in the people play the game called Umbraco Spotting, where they go to a website and then they go to /Umbraco, so they can see if they get access to the back office, or not get access to it, but see if it's an Umbraco site, or at least see what version it's running on. The only real telltale signs, but it's not really a telltale sign, is for me, I always know when I'm on an Umbraco site, when I can see the media for the actual content manager media is in a place called /media and there's an ID, blah blah, kind of thing. It's not a very big thing, but for me it's a telltale sign that that might be an Umbraco site, and then I'll go to /Umbraco. That's that really. Hello.
Does Umbraco get much support from Microsoft?
Interesting. Yes, it kind of does a little bit. I know that the ASP.NET community sites was built on Umbraco version 4 or 6, I believe, and they certainly do tout it quite a lot, or they used to. I'm not sure if they still do, but yeah, they're very much Microsofty. They're trying to just adopt standards. Yeah. Hello.
Is it likely to run on the open source release of .NET?
I'm sure they're very interested in doing so. Yes. There's been a lot of talk about running on VNext. Yeah. So yeah, I should imagine it will do at some point, but like I say, right now it's just running on .NET 4.5. So yep.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you very much.